Now, in case you were wondering exactly why it's so cold outside, it's very simple, you see, folks. All you have to do is read the 300 millibar map, which I'm going to turn over to my friend right here.
Well,
and I understand there's also
much.
a 500 millibar map.
Yes, we have various levels in the atmosphere to forecast weather with.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is, for example, 300 millibar maps, we use it to find the jet stream. It's also a good steering level, while the 850 millibar map we use primarily for temperature forecasting.
And the jet stream brings all that cold air in.
That's right, that's right. Well, we're going to show you a little diagram about that. Let's talk about the day past. An incredibly cool day today. We only had a high today of 45 degrees this afternoon. The overnight low last night was 35, running 14 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Presently at 10 o'clock in the Twin Cities, skies have now finally cleared. We now have mainly clear skies. The temperature now down to 38 degrees. Dew point at 31. That's one of the keys in the forecast. The barometer is holding steady, and the winds are southeasterly at 5 miles per hour. This is the jet stream map, friends. Now, this is basically tracing an area of strong winds aloft at around the 300 millibar level, or approximately 30,000 feet. And if you notice, the jet stream is now coming right out of Canada, coming right out of the northwestern portions of Canada, down through the Dakotas, and then into our neck of the woods. And whenever that takes place, that brings down cool Canadian air masses coming down from that same area. And that pattern has been not changing for the last 3 to 4 days. It's been staying right where it is, and we don't see much of a change over the next couple of days. But hopefully, as winds begin to flatten out somewhat across the western part of the country, our temperatures will begin to warm up. But until this jet stream begins to move and tilt more to the west, we're going to see continued cold temperatures for this time of the year. Let's look at the satellite picture tonight. We're showing you now an area of clearing skies finally. The clouds are now persisting across much of Wisconsin and the upper Great Lakes region, but out across Minnesota and especially out across the Dakotas now. Skies are now clear, and that's going to set the stage for some very, very chilly temperatures overnight, especially across Minnesota. As of 9 o'clock tonight, just about everywhere, skies have now cleared out except for the northeastern third of Minnesota. Even this, snow showers now being reported out in Duluth with a temperature of 38 degrees, 32 degrees with cloudy skies. That's the coldest we can find out in International Falls. But get west of that jet stream and temperatures really begin to warm up. 57 degrees in Bismarck, 61 degrees out in the Rapid City area. This warm air is going to pretty much stay where it is, but we might see a gradual warm up in our temperatures develop here during tomorrow as sunshine returns in full force and temperatures begin to warm up as a result. On the national weather map tonight, not much of a pattern going on with northwesterly winds aloft as well as near the surface. Not much of a chance for warm-up. However, there is a warm frontal system now developing across western Minnesota. Behind it, somewhat warmer air beginning to work its way in. And tomorrow, we'll see some of that warm air arrive here. Not in the 70s, maybe not even in the 60s, but we figure upper 50s to near 60 for a high. Eventually, a storm system getting in shape across the east of the Canadian Rockies will move in our direction, and that will set the stage for an increase in clouds tomorrow night and probably some showers or at least good clouds developing on Monday. The forecast.
And by the way, I would like to congratulate you on your AMS seal, which you recently received.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I don't know if you've made a point of letting everybody know that or not.
No, I'm kind of modest about this.
Well, sure you are. He's a picture of modesty, isn't he? Okay, in just a moment, we're going to check. You can see the weather was good when Chick taped that report. It changed dramatically toward the end of the evening. We had a little bit of everything today, from gray skies to beautiful sunny skies to rain. The man over here in the plaid jacket and the green turtleneck, known as Keith Eichner, our meteorologist, will tell us all about it as we move along. You know what he actually just said to me? He said, I'm glad I didn't wear a solid green outfit. I don't know why, but I'm glad you wear what you wore. Keith, you look very nice.
Well, thank you very much.
What happened to your weather forecast? You didn't say anything about rain yesterday?
Well,
you said it was going to be warmer today.
It was warmer.
But then all of a sudden, bluey.
Well, after sundown it went. But you know, Sam, there's an old proverb that says you're only as good as your weather data. And when your weather data is rotten, you come out with a rotten forecast.
When you come out rotten forecast.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
But seriously, if you have a good forecast, you can't complain.
No, actually, it was a nice day today. It was a good day today.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at the rain.
Well, kiss it goodbye, because after tonight, that's it. It goes all downhill after that.
Did you say we might get snow tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't want to lead anybody, but we'll talk more about that in just a second. But you notice, friends, we've been running much colder than normal the last week or so, and we prepared a special graph tonight just to show you what's been going on over the last couple of weeks. Now, Stan, we've drawn up a graph here representing average temperatures for each day over the past 2 weeks. Now, that black horizontal line in the center is what is considered the normal temperature. Now, during the last week of September, temperatures averaged above normal, and on some days it was over 10 degrees warmer than what it should be. But beginning around the 29th of September, temperatures began dipping to colder than normal levels, and the only day that saw normal temperatures was on the 1st of October. From that day on, it's been all downhill, and as you can see, it's been dropping and dropping, and The extended 6 to 10 day forecast outlook is indicating a continuation of colder than normal temperatures right through the middle of next week, which not only makes it uncomfortable, but also spells out higher than normal heating bills.
That's true.
That's true.
You're just full of good news tonight.
Oh, good news. Well, let's talk about some of the other good news we have for you. Let's talk about Ike's Almanac. Certainly no changes. We had a high today of 64, the highest we've seen here in about a week. The low temperature last night was 30 degrees, not 34. That was our first below freezing temperature, running 7 degrees below normal for this time of the year. Presently now at 10 o'clock, we have a temperature now of 46 degrees, dew point temperature at 44, the air almost totally saturated. The winds are out of the west at 8 miles an hour, and the barometer is holding steady. On the national weather map, the reason why we're not going to get any warmer, well, here it is. The leading edge of somewhat cooler air has just moved through the Twin Cities in the last couple of hours. It's been heralded by some light rain showers, but they're now moving away from us now. Somewhat drier air is now filtering in from the Dakotas, but way up here, there's a reservoir of cold air now developing over western Canada. It's heading in our direction, and by tomorrow night, temperatures are going to be getting so cold here that it may actually squeeze out what residual moisture we have on the air. And if that happens, we might see actual flurries here by later tomorrow afternoon and especially tomorrow night. So there goes our bet in that pool that we had for the snow flurries. Let's talk about the radar right now. The radar is still showing some light rain showers off to the southeastern portions of Minnesota, but most of the activity is quit. Just a little bit of residual activity out here across Alexandria, and that's just about it. Across the 5-state region, as of about an hour ago, still some rain now beginning to slide slowly southeastward now. Clouds are beginning to break now across the western portions of Minnesota, and temperatures are rather mild across the Dakotas. 48 degrees in Bismarck, but look at that, only 36 degrees out across International Falls. So let's look at that local forecast. Flurries possibly before ending 28 to 34, and for Tuesday, partly cloudy, windy and cold. We might even struggle to reach 40 degrees, Stan.
I'm going to put my snow tires on right now.
You better do.
That's it. I'm not going to mess around. Okay, Keith, thank you very much. Our regular weatherman Glenn Burns has the night off, and sitting in for him is Keith Eichner, and he tells us something that a lot of people probably would be very happy to hear. The nights are getting longer than the days. We'll also have the complete weather forecast when we return. Young Keith Eichner is with us. It just brings back memories of the weekends.
Doesn't it?
It's good to have you with us again.
Yeah, it's good to be working with you again, pal.
It was a beautiful day today.
Oh, the hits just keep coming on, Stan. And you know, it's been 14 days now since we've seen some rain here.
I haven't been counting, but it's been a long dry spell.
It's been a dry stretch, but it's been nice. Who's complaining? A high today of 85 degrees, friends.
A little more snow.
Yeah, a little bit more snow, and you'll have to bear with me through this weather report. It's very hard to talk with a sore throat.
Catching the cold that I caught from Steve Vicente.
I thank the both of you for that. I have lots to owe you for. But I will tell you that we are talking.
Temperatures are beginning to warm up out across the Dakotas now. They're warmer now than they were about a minute ago. No, that's 1 minute time cue. As of about 5 hours ago, temperatures are warming up as southwesterly winds continue to strengthen. Teens late in the day, and I think I'm down to about 5 seconds now, Ward. Thank you.
Don't let him shake you up,
I
Keith.
won't.
Thank you. Keith Eichner says that we've got one more day in this deep freeze, and then things should start looking up and even warming up. He'll be in with the weather forecast in just a moment. Well, I jumped up early this morning to run the dogs for a while and thought at 7 degrees below zero it was cold, but according to you, not as cold as it was in Montana.
That's right. Cut Bank, Montana, Jim, had 38 below zero this morning. Amazing, huh? 7 below zero at the Twin Cities Airport, 8 below at my house up in Plymouth, and I trust that this is going to be about the last 12 hours that the Arctic Express is going to be spending its card here in Minnesota, because moderation is coming up in our weather for tomorrow and Tuesday. And the example about Montana, interestingly enough, Jim, is that it was 38 below zero in Cut Bank this morning, but it's now up to 32 above zero last hour. So that's an indication of things to come. Let's look at our own weather right here in the Twin Cities. We had a high today of only a measly 5 degrees. How about that? The low this morning was 7 below zero, obviously the coldest for the season thus far, and we ran 16 degrees colder than we should be for this time of the year. At 5 o'clock in the Twin Cities, the temperature has dropped about 4 degrees in the last hour. It's now down to 1 degree. Relative humidity is at 62%. The barometer continuing to fall from a very high reading right now at 30.68 inches. And the winds are light. They're out of the west at 7 miles per hour. looking at the 5-state region, and these are the latest hourly temperatures that we just got off the circuit in the last couple of minutes or so. It is still very, very cold across the entire 5-state region. Not even the first signs of moderation taking place across the western Dakotas right now, which is the first area we look for moderation. Only 8 degrees at this hour at Rapid City, 6 degrees in Minot, North Dakota, 8 degrees in Bismarck. Clear skies prevailing across the entire region, but get well to the north. Look at this, only 8 below zero at International Falls. That was their high for the day up there. 1 degree now in Duluth, 1 degree here in the Twins, 9 degrees down in Des Moines, Iowa. A little bit warmer, but not much. 5 degrees in Madison, and a couple of goose eggs, one here in Eau Claire and another goose egg out across Alexandria, and temperatures getting around 9 degrees out in the Green Bay area. And again, that's pretty much the story. Looking at the satellite picture tonight taken down from space a couple of hours ago in the wide sector, you can see that Minnesota is white. The entire 5-state region is white. White here, white here, white here. This is an infrared shot. This all is indicating is just the coldness of the air. This is extremely cold air that's settled in across the entire region. Once somebody gets further south, you can see that it turns black in the picture. This is again the infrared image that indicates much warmer temperatures, but obviously the clouds are showing up rather well. Here's the cold frontal band that came across the area last night, caused all that snow across much of the Twin City metro area. The frontal system is now beginning to move east towards the East Coast, and the East Coast may have some problems tomorrow because once this cold front begins to move east and pushes towards the New England states, a low-pressure system is going to develop offshore, and that might cause a full-scale snowstorm to develop across the New England states come tomorrow morning. And we'll be keeping an eye out for you there in case you're having any traveling plans out towards the Boston area or other places. On the national weather map tonight, the cold center of the Arctic air is now across northeastern Kansas at this present time. It has sunk rather rapidly in the last 24 hours. It was across Montana last night. It's now moving southeast fairly rapidly, but we're still in the very cold air. It prevails across the entire region, and moderation is slow. But we are getting signs of moderation taking place. Out across Montana, it was around 30 below zero in Great Falls, Montana this morning. Last hour, 25 above zero, and temperatures are beginning to warm up all along the Intermountain region, and that warm air is going to be beginning to stream rapidly in an easterly direction over the next 24 hours. So tonight will be the coldest night here, then moderation beginning in tomorrow, and tomorrow night the temperatures will continue to rise right into Tuesday, and we might reach into the 40s by Tuesday. So let's look at that forecast, as incredible as it may sound. For tonight, clear and frigid. That's the best word we can describe it. 5 below to 12 below in the Twins. Tomorrow, sunny, not as cold, 15 to 20, but that might not occur until late in the day. Then some patchy clouds moving in tomorrow night, and that will continue to Tuesday. Temperatures continuing to moderate, and Tuesday temperatures will be in the 30s to near 40. Western Dakotas will be in the lower to middle 50s. And for aviation interest tomorrow, you'll have southwesterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, and you'll have VFR conditions all day.
Can't believe it's
Incredible.
Going to get that cold.
It just keeps on going up and down like a seesaw, and we're not really living up to our bets of having a cold December. It's just been alternating between cold and warm, and we're going right back up again Tuesday.
Well, maybe we'll get some snow with it. The skiers will be happy anyway.
So.
Thank you, Keith.
Well, I guess we've got to call it another gray day, but Keith, you got to admit it was a pretty day.
Yeah, a very pretty day outside. It caused lots of beautiful hoarfrost to form on everything in sight. We'll probably have that again tomorrow. If you're going to be outside with a camera tomorrow, I would suggest you do it, because I think after tomorrow afternoon, a lot of that frost is going to be disappearing as an unknown commodity.